Women's bodies change through their lifetime. Puberty, pregnancy, thyroid, PCOS, stress, and then menopause. These are some of the stages that women go through. Now, as they go through these stages, their bodies change. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Now at Times Talk from the Heart. Our guest today is Rujuta Diwekar. She is a leading nutrition and exercise science expert. She is a best-selling author as well as the country's leading expert on wellness and nutrition. Hi Rujuta, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much for having me on your show.
It is a pleasure. We've been waiting to speak with you. Now Rujuta, you handle not only the common man, the common woman, you also are handling celebrities. Now, women have so many issues. What are some of the common issues that women come to you with?
Mostly the most common issue is going to be, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to fit into the jeans that I was wearing when I was in college. See, this is what I looked like when I got married. Look at me now, I'm not looking good. Post-delivery weight loss, or menopause, a lot of weight gain, or maybe endless bleeding around menopause, loss of hair. Those kind of things are the reason why a lot of women will approach me. I found it very interesting, Maria, when you said that as women, our bodies change throughout our lifetimes. But I think our bodies also change month to month. Our ovaries keep doing different things just before the periods, during the periods, right?
And after the periods. Yes.
Absolutely. So if we are not, if we aren't equipped in our head and in our heart to prioritize ourselves, to look after ourselves, to make our health something which is of paramount importance to our day-to-day life, then we lose out on many things, and then we shift the blame to events like marriage or maybe childbirth or anything else for actually our loss of health. But the fact is that as women, we haven't learned self-care or self-nurture, and we should learn that. It's never too late to learn that.
You're so right, Rujuta, when you said, it changes every month. I remember there are some months when during the menstrual cycle, I used to feel bloated. Some months I used to feel depressed. And then with menopause, it just got worse. So I am with you in what you're saying. Now, you said a very important thing. We want to lose weight. I mean, I think that is one of the things that as we grow older, that's what we want to do, that we want to lose weight. And like you rightly said, look, I used to fit into these jeans. I don't anymore. So then we start going on weird diets, okay, crazy diets. I know of some of my friends who have gone on diets and I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, which are some of the foods that we as women should never avoid?
Oh, there are many, but the first thing that any woman should ensure that she never avoids is just eating as per her appetite. A lot of us women subconsciously eat much lesser than what we need to eat or what we want to eat, because we almost feel like there is some medal at the end of the day for denying ourselves what we truly need. Anyone who's lived long enough, by long enough, I mean anyone who has crossed teenage, should know that there is no medal for behaving badly with oneself. So you have to first of all behave well. So the first thing to avoid is avoid this constant watching over yourself and eating lesser than what you may want to eat at every meal. So that's the first thing. The second food that women should never avoid are pulses. So there was a time when India would eat a whole lot of pulses, but now slowly pulses are losing, they're falling out of favor. Goa is known for arsane or the Goan beans. Arsane is nothing but a native pulse, and it is something which gives us good amino acids, which are building blocks of protein. It gives us vitamin B, it gives us fiber, it makes sure that our gut health, our hair, our moods, all of that is stabilized. So including these kind of lentils and pulses in our diet is very, very important, and not losing out on our native pulses like arsane is important. So that's one food that one must never avoid and eat often. That's the first thing. The second thing that women should never avoid are the native fruits that we used to eat. um, for example, the kaju fruit, which will now start coming, looks beautiful in the spectrum of yellow to a full bright red. And there was a time when everyone would eat it. Maybe it was even sold outside of schools. And now it's like no one is eating it. Now we almost have multinationals which otherwise make colas wanting to buy it and appropriate it and sell it as an antioxidant rich drink. But where it grows, it seems to have no value. So eating our native fruits, right from the cashew apple to the mango, also the banana, that is something that we have to learn to do. The karwanda, the bora, so these are fruits that
Zambul,
we yes, yes, so we
jam.
should not. Yes, jam. We should not avoid these. Otherwise, we are in this mad rush of everyone is eating kiwi, everyone is eating some
Berries,
blueberry. You
blueberries, yes.
know, but these are the ones which have the richest antioxidant and the lowest carbon footprint. And the third food that we should never avoid is rice. Rice is nice. I think if there is no bhat, then there is no life. So rice is something which is very important.
I
Rice
agree
also
with you,
works as a
Rujita, on that.
yeah, it's a prebiotic. Prebiotic is basically food for the good bacteria within our body. What makes a Goan is the fact that they have a state of mind which is healthy, which is happy, which knows how to take things at a slow, steady pace and build a good, sustainable life. And part of the reason why one is allowed to do that, I mean, why Goans are able to do that, or why people along the coast and Kokni people can do that, is because of the rice that they consume. So it gives them a sense of calm in their stomachs and even in their brains. You will find a lot of our grandparents saying things like, if they don't eat rice, they cannot sleep, or if they don't eat rice, they don't feel like their meal is complete, because they don't have satiety or they don't have that sense of calm and nurture if there is no rice. So to quickly tell you, eating lesser than what one needs to eat, ensuring that there are pulses in your regular diet, ensuring that there is a good spectrum of all native fruits from the cashew apple to the mango, and including rice in our daily diet without any kind of fear or apprehension about rice making us fat. These are things that we need to do. So overall, we just need to avoid fats.
Okay. Now, for a woman, it starts from puberty. We
Correct.
start having different issues. During periods, it starts from the period time. Either you get
Correct.
very severe stomach ache, you get that bloated feeling, you get a lot of pain, or you get a lot of bleeding. How can we ensure, what are the things that we can eat to ensure that our menstrual cycles are regulated in some way?
See, first of all, we have to remember that it's important to not have, aches or pains during periods. We cannot normalize aches or pains during periods and say that, oh, everyone has a bad time during periods. Everyone doesn't have a bad time. This is preventable. The aches and pains that one feels during periods is preventable, but you have to work at it one day at a time. You can't start eating right just around your periods or just during your periods and expect a miracle to happen. You have to
Right.
eat correctly throughout the month, and then for every month for the rest of your life, so that there is no problem with your periods. And if you do need a painkiller during periods, then you should not deny yourself that painkiller and say, oh, I have not taken a painkiller. If there is a lot of pain, you must seek help and resolve that pain, and not just bear that pains. But what can you do to keep the pain down and to ensure that the cycle is regulated? So here are some of the things that we use with our clients. Number one is banana. Banana is a fruit that we use with every client. A lot of times women avoid banana because they feel
It's
that it
fattening.
is it's fattening, but it's not. You know, it has potassium, so it gives you the electrolyte balance so that you don't feel bloated. It also gives you smooth digestion. You know, Maria, you will notice that around our periods, we don't really digest or excrete properly or optimally, and banana helps that process. So, banana is one thing that we use. The other thing that we tell all girls who have period issues is to start their day with soaked raisins, black raisins, and soaked kesar. And this is a big study that we conducted. It was called the East PMS study. And we found very, very good result of a very small intervention like starting your day with some soaked black raisins, because it reduced bloating, period pain, irritability, and even breast tenderness. So, you know, that is the other thing that one needs to do to regulate the cycle. The third thing, like I said, is ensuring that there is adequate you know, diversity of pulses in one's diet. So that is also something which helps. So right from the moong dal to asane to all of these things, you know, including them in your day-to-day diet, that is important. The fourth thing would be rice, because you know digestion is weak and rice is easy to digest. So rice helps. Just the moong dal khichdi, making something like that, also helps. And then I think another thing to include are things like Rajgira, you know, Rajgira, Nachni Sattva, things which we used to eat earlier but now have kind of fallen out of favor. If we consume all of these things, and along with that, if all girls work at staying active at least for 1 hour every single day, you know, then the period pain is reduced to a very large extent. And of course for teenage girls, because that is also the time where we all discover that there is a lot to do late nights, right from studying to you know, flirting. All of those things will happen late night, but they do take a toll on our health
Yeah.
and fitness. So you know, keeping those late nights down, going to bed early, making time to exercise, and eating according to what your grandmother is saying and not according to what some Instagram influencer is saying. That is what is important for a well regulated and pain free period cycle.
All right. Now, besides periods, the next question is PCOS. Today, you know, and I know there are more and more girls who suffer from PCOS, PCOD. What is it that has caused this increase, and how is it possible for us to lower it, or you know, to combat it in some way?
All right. See, part of it has been, you know, just the lifestyle that is causing PCOS. You know, girls are more stressed than what they used to be. And, you know, that is adding a big burden. If you look at it, also, our pollution levels have gone up. Consumption of packaged food by children has gone up. So, even pre puberty, you're eating a lot of packaged food. When I was growing up, I think the only time one got chocolates or even a cake is maybe during someone's
Birthday.
birthday. Yeah, or if you went out. Today, you can have it every single day. And there is no regulation on junk food marketing or on junk food packaging or pricing. So today, one of the reasons why children can have a chocolate every day is also because you get it in a 2 rupee packet or you get it in a 5 rupee packet. And you know, that no one seems to bat an eyelid and saying, okay, fine, you buy these chips or you buy this chocolate. So consumption of junk food has gone up, pollution levels have gone up, our green spaces are shrinking. We are no longer able to walk or cycle to school like the way we used to because of increased vehicular traffic. So all of these things are having an effect, and that's why we are seeing larger numbers of PCOD and PCOS. But in terms of food, some of the strategies that one can use is including a banana flour ka bhaji in, you know, in the daily diet. So the banana flour, the red color flour, you know, which we get, that is something which helps you keep the effect of PCOD down. It
Okay.
improves your hormonal balance. So that is one food. Then the other food which is very good and which we use with PCOD are all of the root vegetables, the suran, the arbi, the yams. There are ratara. There are many root vegetables in every region which are native and local to every region. So including those in the diet, I do know that Goan diets are rich in what is called as carb. So on a day that you're not having fish fry, the vegetable that you make the carb out of, that is a good inclusion for keeping PCOD and PCOS down. And the third thing is, of course, exercise and sleeping on time, because that is also important to tackle PCOD and PCOS, especially learning to do yoga, learning to do some inversions, some bit of strength training, cycling, swimming, just keeping active, making activity a part of our life. That is what is important
So,
for
like you
handling
said,
these.
about an hour or so of exercise every day.
Oh, yes, every day. And we
Yes.
should prioritize that over watching reels, over, over going out and sitting in some coffee shop and having
Chilling with
endless cups of
friends.
coffee. Yeah, and we should also prioritize that over studies if it comes to that, because just sitting, but today, Maria, children sit and consume everything on their screen, right from studying is on the screen, recreation is on the screen, socializing is on the screen, entertainment is all on the screen.
Very true.
So this generation is really having a hard time, and this is when I think parents need to intervene, and instead of shaming their children into leading a better lifestyle, we have to enable our children and encourage our children and create that environment for them where they will work at having a better lifestyle. So instead of meeting your friends over a cup of coffee, meet them over cycling, meet them over swimming, meet them for a run, meet them in your yoga class, so socialize, but it doesn't have to be with junk food. It can be, when you're working out or being active.
And Rujuta, in Goa, we are very blessed that we have so much of space, our
Of
beaches,
course.
and the open space, the gardens that we have. So, it makes so much of sense what you're saying, that meet them over, cycling, or meet them next to the pool or something like that. Now, after PCOS, another very common trend that I have noticed as well amongst people I know is that autoimmune conditions. So autoimmune conditions, I mean lupus, HS, are some I had never heard of before when I was growing up. I haven't heard it. I'm sorry, but I didn't. But today it's so common. Now, what is it that, besides having the local foods that you have mentioned and exercising, is there anything else? Are there any superfoods that can be eaten to avoid, or for those who already have the condition, can they eat a particular
Everything
food?
that we spoke about right now can be safely consumed for people, even by people who are dealing with autoimmune conditions. Part of the reason why autoimmune condition has gone up again, like I said, that we are living in environments and where stresses are high, where activity levels have gone down, where there has been what is called as nutrition transition, where people have actually given up on their local native food, and everyone is eating more packaged and processed food. So all those are part of the reasons. The other reason is also that today, with better technology and better access to healthcare, one can actually go detect, diagnose, and know the name of exactly what is making you feel unlike yourself. So it's a little bit of you know it's a little bit of good and bad. Now we know exactly what is happening, so we are better equipped to deal with it. And all normal foods, regular foods, can be safely consumed by people with autoimmune conditions. One doesn't need to go hashtag anything free for an autoimmune, because today, with whatever condition that one may have, whether it is an autoimmune one, whether it is blood pressure, whether it is diabetes, whether it's anything else at all, there is almost like the food industry and weight loss industry prying on our vulnerabilities and on our need to fix it somehow through food. And then they sell us many things at a very, very big price, just because and they're making promises which are not even real. So just because it has hashtag something free, like hashtag gluten free, for example, or hashtag dairy free, for example, it's not going to reverse your condition or anything like that, but it is just going to help people make more profit. So one must ensure that one doesn't fall prey to this kind of marketing gimmicks. And the reason why we fall prey to these kind of marketing gimmicks is because anytime that we have any kind of a condition, we tend to self blame. We almost feel like मैंने कुछ गलत किया जिसके वजह से मुझे ये हुआ, so if one has become obese, then people think it's that obese person's fault, that she doesn't have willpower, so she has become fat. She is not eating correctly, so she has diabetes. She is having some other problem. So this whole blame has to go. There are multifactorial reasons why something can go wrong in the body. Thankfully, most things today can be addressed, and through lifestyle, through medicines if required, and one can lead a perfectly normal and healthy life. So one should take courage in that versus falling prey for things which are not which are not sensible or even sustainable.
Now, Rujuta, from what you have spoken with me, the one thing that really stood out for me was the rice that you spoke about, that you should not avoid rice. I've also heard you speaking about ghee. Now,
Yes.
according to some people, especially those who are on a diet and are wanting to lose weight, fats is something that they just avoid at all costs. And you are always promoting ghee. Now, what is it in ghee that you promote it all the time?
That ghee is a local, and it's one of our heritage foods. Not just ghee, but even loni, or with the white butter. We have made it. I mean, India has used it along with thalipi, on bhakris, or to make muruku. There are multiple ways in which we use it. We even make buttermilk out of it and have it, which is then like a speciality for that day in the house. So all of our products, whether it is ghee, whether it is white butter, whether it is curd or dahi, whether it is just milk, whether it is even kharwas, all of these are good for our health. Ghee specifically, because it is something which has, again, it works as a prebiotic, so it is good food for for the good bacteria in our body. It has a calming effect on our intestines. Sometimes our intestines can get like, when we say that, oh, I think I'm getting like this whole burning feeling, so that happens when our diets have no ghee at all for weeks together, which is why when people travel and come back, they tend to feel these kind of things. Ghee also has one specific kind of fat called the short chain fatty acid, and this helps the body even, it actually allows for better fat burning. And ghee, because it's an essential fat, allows you to assimilate fat soluble vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin K better, than what you would be able to assimilate them if your diet didn't have ghee. So yeah, a teaspoon of ghee at breakfast, lunch, dinner, those are the basic things that one can start doing, and you can just make ghee at home and use it.
Right. Now, given a choice, olive oil, virgin olive oil or ghee, which one would it be?
Oh, well, it would all depend on where you're eating. So if you're eating in India, then surely ghee. If you were eating abroad, then maybe olive oil. The thing is that the reason why olive oil became such a big health food in our heads is because it was actually positioned and marketed like that by the European Union and their governments to us. So countries like India and all of us in Asia and Pacific, we are looked at as what is called as growing markets. And then look, what the food industry does is that it packages, produces, and prices things, positions them from a health angle, and then just gets all of these health influencers on board to kind of promote it to everyone. So you will find everyone promoting olive oil, but it really doesn't have any special heart protecting properties over, let's say, singdana oil or over ghee. So one should continue to use what one has always been using, because all our recipes are also according to these fats that we've been using. Our recipes are not according to olive oil.
If it is coconut oil, like we make a lot of coconut oil. There are, coconuts are so easily available out here. So many houses in Goa make their own coconut oil. So is that coconut oil, or would you recommend peanut oil is better for cooking?
No, coconut oil, because if you're making coconut oil at home, and if that is how you're using things, so it all depends on what your grandmother has been using. So, and we can safely continue her traditions when it comes to our cooking and cuisines.
Okay. Now, PCOS, we spoke about PCOS, we spoke about puberty, and we also spoke about autoimmune. Hormonal imbalance is another big problem for many girls, women. So, are the same foods applicable for what you spoke about during puberty and PCOS?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All of these foods are useful. Also, a handful of nuts every day. So if you can't do cashews, even if you're doing peanuts, or you can do badam or whatever, but nuts, including nuts in our diet, is also useful. Even chana, black chana,
We
the
use a
brown
lot of that
chana.
in Goa. Yes. Yes,
So
we use a
all
lot of that.
is good for our health.
Now, after 30, the bone density gets affected. What is it that we can do? I mean, the exercise, of course, like you always said, exercise is very important. So besides the exercise, is there anything else, any food that will help with our bone density?
All the foods that we spoke about are good for bone mineral density. Ensuring that we don't eat lesser than what we need at any point of time is important for bone mineral density, as is keeping extremely active. One of the problems with girls, like, with our gender, is that after we reach puberty, we kind of hold ourselves back on physical activity and sports. But we should not do that. It's much more important that women and girls find the time to exercise and stay active and walk around as compared to men, because our hormones, especially after menopause, will put us at a disadvantage as far as bone mineral density is concerned. So regular practice of yoga, regularly going out for walks or swimming or cycling, lifting some weights, doing strength training, and staying active. Refusing to sit at one place for more than 30 minutes at a time. So for every 30 minutes of sitting, stand up at least for 3 minutes. So staying more mobile, eating all of the local seasonal traditional foods, working at sleeping on time, and really making exercise and activity a priority. That is much more important for keeping our bone mineral density. See, if we just sit and do nothing, then that's when we actually begin to lose out on the bone mineral density. So
All
that's
right.
what we have to do. Yeah.
You have, in such a short time, you've given us so much of information, Rujuta, and we are so grateful. I know you are a very, very, very busy woman, but you have given us so much of time. Thank you. Thank you for all the information, and we hope to speak with you again. To all our viewers, I hope you have learned as much as I have. And from all of us here at the Navin Times and the Go 365 channel, as well as Rujuta and her team, thank you so much for your time, for your patience, and of course for listening in like you do every fortnight. Until next time, take care of yourself. Rujuta, again, thank you from all of us.